Go to www.gsradionj.com and check out the best internet station in the world. You're listening to GS Radio Internet Radio Station powered by GMG LLC.
In the beginning there was Jack, and Jack had a groove. And after a while, a deep sleep fell upon him, and he went looking for a new groove. He began looking for a new nation, and it had to be a soulful nation. And he found it, and it was Soulful House Nation. And he saw a building. It was a tall building. It had 10 stories. And he entered the building and got on the elevator and pushed the 10th floor, but it stopped on the 8th floor. And that's where he found his new groove. And he began to jack and jack and jack and jack. And he knew that this was it. It was Soulful House Nation on the 8th floor. Get ready, get ready, get ready.
Unusual suspect, and who's my co-host? Can't hear you. That's okay. Okay. Anyway, we can't hear you. Lanena, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now we can hear you. Okay.
Okay.
Well, ladies, welcome. Well, I got to tell you, I'm super excited to be here and to have our special guests. Both of them I've known for a very, very long time. And I'm super excited. We do these shows called Soulful House Nation, but a couple times a year we do something that's not really about the music. It's about real life. And as you know, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So we have these two young ladies who are breast cancer survivors. I should say, I'm gonna rephrase that. Breast cancer survivor heroes. And the reason I say that is because not only did they go into this thing, but they survived it, and now they're advocating for awareness and stuff. Because most people have situations, and what they do is at best they handle their situation and they fade into the go out into the sunset. So what I'm gonna do our usual warm up stuff about the music stuff and let everybody know that. But then I want to have a full interview. I want to take as long as it takes to have the conversation. So anyway, just want to say again, I just want to get that up front. We got a few little things that we do every week in terms of the show. So we play the number one song, for the people who tune in the house music. According to Track Source, we play an old school song. But I think what we're going to do today, I just feel led to do it. I'll just do the opening with the number one song, and then I'm just going to go right into our conversation because I think this is that important. And I know I had some questions. Lorena, my co-host, had some questions, and we were going back and forth, especially when it comes to treatment and stuff. And we're here. So just, Chuck, if you can just play the number one song according to Track Source, it's a little snippet. And, because Facebook is a nasty, nasty little habit of shutting us down and muting us out. That's going to give me a chance to get everything set up. It's by Pevin Everett. It's called No Wonder. It's been number one for 2 weeks. So we're going to play a little bit of that. And then once we do that, we're just going to go right into the show. All right? So, Chuck, huh?
Say that 3 times.
Say it again now?
Say that quickly 3 times. The name of the artist.
Oh, okay.
Say it quick 3 times.
P-E. Anyway. Okay.
Pevin Everett.
This show is super important, and this show affects a lot of people, either directly or with people they know, family, friends, co-workers, church members, etc., etc., etc. So let's do this. I'm just gonna open a thing up, and then what's gonna happen is we're going to have questions, and we want to really, really hear from you. So just a first little thing here. Just everybody just introduce themselves so we kind of know who you are. So somebody, you want to flip a coin and see who goes first or what? Anyway.
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Uh-huh.
Hi. My name is Nancy Steward, and I'm from Paterson, New Jersey. I am a retired specialist from Verizon, as well as a retired Deputy Court Administrator. I'm 71 years young, a mother, a grandmother, and I am a 2-time breast cancer survivor.
Okay. Joanne?
Okay. Hi, my name is Harry Yu. Good to see everybody.
Yes.
My name is Joanne English Rolleson, and I am a licensed real estate broker for the state of New Jersey for 44 years. My company's been in business for 72 years as my father started it, and I'm the second generation. I have a family, a husband, and 4 grands, and I live a great life now. I am a 2-time cancer survivor. My first cancer was Hodgkin's lymphoma, and my second cancer was breast cancer.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. So, well, listen, I'm just going to maybe ask 1 or 2 more questions, and I want to get Lorena involved with this. Just, explain to us, for those who don't know, a bit on another planet, what is breast cancer,
Okay, so breast cancer is cancer in the breast tissue. It's when the cells kind of clump together and form a tumor. Now there's many different types of breast cancer. So, I'm not a doctor, but I do know about it because I did my research. and just trying to figure this out as to why, how, and so forth and so on. But it's when the cells become abnormal, you know what I mean? So it's not, and then they become a tumor, and sometimes that they spread if you don't get it in time. Um, I was fortunate with mine. And I say I was fortunate because of the fact that I'm still standing. But
Absolutely.
yeah, but the breast cancer was in my left breast. No, I'm sorry, it was in my right breast, and it was a tumor the size of a golf ball. And the only how I found it was I was working out and I was doing jumping jacks, and I felt pressure in my right breast. And so I told my trainer, I'm like, I don't want to do jumping jacks anymore because I feel pressure. And she said, well, Joanne, that doesn't sound right. Pressure in your right breast, it doesn't sound right. Go have it checked out. So I had always been one to, have my body checked out, but I didn't feel a lump. And the reason why I didn't feel a lump is because I went to the doctor. He told me that the tumor was lodged on my chest cavity. So it was behind all the fat of your breast tissue. So that's why I didn't feel a lump. So the tumor was the size of a golf ball, but it was heavy. So I always just tell people, know your body. If something does not feel right, then it
Not
9 times out of 10, it is not right. So have it checked out.
hmm
I want to piggyback on that, Joanne, as well. You said like it's a growth, an uncontrollable growth that forms into a tumor, but you also have to remember that it's not always a lump. You don't always feel a lump in breast cancer. It can be a discharge from your nipple. It could be a discoloration in the skin area. It could be the dimples in the skin or the swelling of the lymph nodes. So a lot of people think breast cancer and they think tumor and they think, just the lump, but that's not always the case. But the
That,
last thing I want to say, what breast cancer isn't, it isn't a death sentence.
hallelujah. That's right. But that's true because that what do they call it? A nip, what do they call it when it sucks in as opposed to protruding out?
Correct.
It,
Yeah.
it's like a dimple, like you said.
Correct. Dimple.
That was something that I didn't even know about until a friend of mine who, God bless her soul, she had that type of cancer, and it was a dimple. So it was her breast kind of sucking in a little bit. It
Yeah.
didn't protrude out. So
Right.
I just recently learned about that being another sign. So you
hmm
absolutely 100% right. Is not just a tumor. It could be multiple things. It could be a lot of different things. The tumor is what we're all familiar with, and
Right.
the way they describe breast cancer, as far as it being an abnormal cell, and that
hmm
abnormal cell sometimes turns into a tumor.
Absolutely.
Yes.
hmm
Now,
Wow, lady.
what I'd like you to do, and let's say this time, say we'll start with Nancy.
hmm
Tell us about your journey from Olympian, um, being in Olympic shape, to
hmm
getting breast cancer. And I'd like to hear from both of you. One day, you know,
Sure.
yeah.
And what did you call me? Olympian?
Yes.
I'll take that. I'll take it. Well, well, let me start because I was a coach. I
Okay.
coached girls basketball. Now, whether we went to the Olympics or not, that's a whole different story. But you know what? We did go to the tournaments of champions, so we're pretty good. So
Mm-hmm.
again, I was a coach. I was a girl basketball coach as well as a girl softball coach, and I was active. I walked, I ran. I used to go to here. We have a park, Pennington Park, and I used to go there in the mornings in my younger years and do my 5 miles. So again, I consider myself being in good health. I consider myself a healthy eater. Not always, but sometimes we sneak a little something, something in there. I don't smoke. I don't really drink. Maybe you go and have that occasional drink, but I wouldn't consider myself a drinker. No one in my family had breast cancer that I was aware of before. So that's my healthy part. That's the beginning of the journey. So I'll give you like the abbreviated version because my journey is twofold. My journey started in December of 2004 when I did discover the lump in my left breast. And after getting out of the shower, I looked in the mirror and I'm like, something's not right here. Felt it, and sure enough, it was a lump. So went to the doctor, got the script for the mammo. So the procedures, then I had the mammo, then they come, oh, we need to do an ultrasound. Then they said we need to do a biopsy. So when you hear all of this, now you get a little unafraid. You're getting frazzled. But again, after the biopsy, I was given the diagnosis, that it was breast cancer. So like in March of 2005, I had surgery. I chose to have a mastectomy and reconstruction. And I had what they call a tram-flap procedure, and that's where they take your tissues from your abdomen and they transport it to form a new breast. And that was my decision. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted my own parts of my body to be part of my body. And I took tamoxifen for 10 years. Now, I'll tell people that during the first beginning of taking the medication, my quality of life was not good at all. The instantly I took that pill, I went into hot flashes. I went into menopause right away. I couldn't sleep. Saw a little bit of hair coming out. Cold sweats, hot sweats, or it just the quality of life wasn't good. So I said to myself, Nancy, I'm not taking this pill anymore. I can't do it. And for some reason, I got that little whisper from God that said, you will take the pill. And I believe that in my subconscious, I said, now, if I stop taking this pill and it does reoccur, who's to blame? I would have to put the thought on myself. So I did. I took the pill for 10 years and I'm still here. So I guess it worked. So my second time, though, it started in April of 2021. And like before, I discovered it myself. And it's really ironic that I felt a little something on that left breast, but for 15 and a half years, they only checked the right breast, the good breast. So I asked my doctor, I requested that they do a bilateral mammo. That way both breasts were checked. And lo and behold, when it came back as breast cancer. Now, you got to remember, I only have tissues from my abdomen in that breast. So that was very, very unusual that it reoccurred. In fact, I was the topic of a medical panel that did the discussion because that's how unusual it was. But it came back in the same place. So you have to ask yourself, did they get it all the first time? And how did it regrow? What made it grow back? How long did I have it? Because I never had that breast, the mammo, it was never done. So they would say, because really they would tell me, that's not a breast, that's actually your stomach in a sense. So now do I, what do you call it? Did I have stomach cancer? And it came on, came on up to the breast. Well, anyway, but that was in April. And it returned. And, I was a little sad because in your mind, you always had that thought, what if? What if it returns? Even my granddaughter, when she was 10 when the first one happened, and the words out of, as they say, babe's mouth, she said, Grandma, what happens if it comes back? I said, no, baby, they're going to get it all. And then 16 years later, it did occur. Now, the first time I was stage 1 because of early detection. Stage 0. And I didn't need chemo. I didn't need radiation. My second time around, I did have 35 rounds of radiation. No chemo was needed. And that was in December of 2021. And now, currently, I'm on just on medication. It's called anastrozole, arimidex. This is for postmenopausal, and I'm doing well. And you know what? I'm healed, and I
Yes.
give it all the praise to my Father above. But again,
Amen.
that's my story, my twofold story, and I'm gonna stick with that.
I know that's right.
Joanne, let's hear your story.
That's very interesting to me, Nancy. And
Mhm.
it's also a lesson for me in hearing your story. Like, I always talk about my story, but I don't necessarily always hear someone else's story because a lot of people don't like to talk about what they're going through and what they've been
Right.
through. So,
Hmm.
number one, thank you for sharing because every time someone shares with me, that's
Hmm.
knowledge. That's knowledge. That's more knowledge for me, more knowledge for me to share with others. So, um, and then I'll get to my story. But one thing that I wanted to ask you about is because you were diagnosed in 2024 for the first time. I was diagnosed in 2025 for the first time. And I'm just so thankful that, here it is 20 years later and I have not had a reoccurrence. I'm just so grateful. But to listen to your story
Hmm.
that they created a breast from your stomach tissue.
Correct.
But my question is I'm surprised that although you didn't have breast tissue there, that you didn't get a mammogram on both sides every
Hmm.
time,
Right.
regardless, because some people that I know, even when they took off their breasts, they still will get that mammogram on both sides. And
Okay.
what also concerns me is that not concerns me, but because of my knowledge of I never felt a tumor in my breast
Hmm.
because what they're saying it was so deep down, lodged way behind the fat tissue and it was on my chest cavity.
Right.
That's the reason why I couldn't feel anything. So I was just wondering if maybe there was a little cell that was maybe on your chest cavity that they didn't.
They did.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
that's that. So thank you for sharing that. That's just
Oh, you're
something
quite
else in
welcome.
my anyway. So with myself, my first cancer was when I was 21 years old. I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, stage 3B, and they told my parents that I literally only have 6 months to live.
Right.
So, um, my first cancer, I was very unknowledgeable. My first cancer, I people say I was in denial, but it wasn't
Mhm.
that I was in denial. It was just that I was very unknowledgeable about what cancer was.
Right.
They told me I was sick. They told me I had to take medicine, and I just knew I was gonna get better. I'm gonna take my medicine, and I'm gonna get better. I had to have chemo, radiation at 21 years old, but back then they didn't have the drugs that they have now,
Right.
whereby you're not as sick.
Right.
Back then, I was sick. I
Mm.
remember that my mother used to prepare the bathroom for me every time I came home from the hospital from having my chemo. She would have newspapers on the floor. She would have my favorite books and magazines in the bathroom because I
Mhm.
literally stayed in the bathroom for hours after
Yeah.
chemo, very sick, throwing up. So that's my first memory of cancer.
Mhm.
And my parents didn't tell me that I only had 6 months to live. All I knew is they were always very upset. They were always crying. They were like, "Oh, my baby's sick. My baby's sick." And I was like, "Ma," I was like, "I'm gonna take my medicine. I'm gonna be okay." I kept consoling my parents, letting them know that I'm gonna be okay, because that's
Mhm.
what I felt in my heart. I knew I was sick, but I didn't know I was that sick. And I used to tell my mother and father, I'm like, I got things to do. Why are y'all upset? I'm gonna be okay.
You're right.
So I shared that. I share that with you because that was my first cancer, and then I began living my life after I went through my treatment. But a real important part of my first cancer is after I went through all my treatment, after I had radiation, all of that. I went back to my doctors, and they always look at me, even to this day, as their
Mhm.
miracle child.
All
They
right.
they said to my parents, they came back to me after I went through all my treatment, and they said to my parents, they said, there's something very strange about your daughter. And they said, well, what is it? They said she took all the medication. the medication has worked, and it had worked in a way whereby we don't see any signs of any cancer in her body, and we see her cells going back to normal as if she never had the
Wow.
disease.
There you.
So therefore, I was their miracle child, specimen, God, whatever you want to call it. But I survived something that people did not think that I was going to survive, because
There.
Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 3B was considered a death
A
sentence.
death
And that's what
sentence.
they were saying to my parents. But God had another plan for me. He had
Absolutely.
another plan.
Absolutely.
So about 25 years later, let me see. So I was I was 45. When I turned 45, I told you I was doing jumping jacks, because now I'm living a healthy lifestyle. I'm working in real estate. I'm just doing my thing. I'm kind of didn't look at that past as anything other than just a lesson.
Right.
And this time around, when the girl told me, Joanne, go to the doctor, that don't sound right. You have pressure in your right breast? That doesn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to the doctor, and the doctor does the exam, and he says, you need to go for a scan because something does not feel right. I went for my scan. They came back and they said that they found a lump, and the lump was cancer, and it was stage 2B breast cancer.
Oh.
So now here I go again. But guess what? The first time, I wasn't scared. I went through my treatment. I was good. This time around, I was very afraid, because by now I have knowledge. I'm older. I hear people now talking about cancer. Back then, my mother and father used to always say the big C. They wouldn't say the word cancer in my household. They would say the big C. Now, I'm very familiar. At age 45, I'm very familiar. I understand that cancer is very serious, and it is a disease that you have to really do something about. You have to get your medication, and then you have to do things on your own besides going to the doctor. But you have to be an advocate for your own self and your own body. You got to feed yourself better now. You have to take away some of the things that could be toxic, which I did. I did change my diet this time around. That first time, I'm young, I'm still living life. I didn't do none of that. I'm not gonna lie. I did not change my diet. That first time, I did not. This time, my doctor told me, he said, Joanne, just eat a colorful plate. Have dark green, orange, red, yellow, all the colorful vegetables, all the colorful fruit. He said, just put that in your regimen, is having a colorful plate. So this time around, because now I'm scared. I'm scared this time. I changed my diet majorly, okay? In addition to change my diet, I went to several different support groups. I went to support groups because when you're a woman and you the strength of your family and you doing your thing, you don't want to put the burden of your illness on your family. So I didn't want to put the burden of my illness on my family, especially when you're a strong woman. When you're a strong woman and your kids look to you and your husband looks to you, you don't want to do that. So this time I'm scared. I'm like, I got to do something different. So then I started reaching out for support myself. And at that point, I joined Gilda's Club. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Yes,
but
I am.
I joined Gilda's Club because that's a place that you can go to. You can vent. You can sew. You can do art. You can do line dancing. All the things that take your mind off of what you're going through. So I believe in support systems. I went to another support system called Tennis for Life, where all breast cancer survivors get free lessons for life
did that.
indoors. Did you do that?
Yes, I did.
You look familiar to me, like I might have.
Exactly. Yes, I did that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I reached out for all the support that I could get.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. And I went to support groups. I went to Inglewood Hospital. I got my massages. I did meditation. I
Mm-hmm.
did whatever I could do to take my mind off of having cancer for a second time.
Right.
And I can tell you that uh, it worked to a certain extent, to a point where it was like, with all the knowledge and all the strength that I have, I wanted to do more than just go to those support groups. I wanted to create my own because
Mm-hmm.
now I'm a two-time cancer survivor. I
Mm-hmm.
got some stuff to talk about. And
Yes.
you talking about some people, like what made you tell your story or what made you talk about cancer? You know what makes me talk about it? The
What?
fact of the matter is that when I talk about my disease and all that I have been through,
Mm-hmm.
that heals me.
Yes.
Because when you talk about stuff, it releases toxins from your
Mm-hmm.
body. When
Mm-hmm.
you hold stuff in, you ever hear about stress will kill you and make you sick?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. Stress will kill you. Stress will make you sick. I talk about it because I believe that it releases toxins from my body. Even just verbalizing that I am healed, I
Mm-hmm.
believe that will help me. I also share that with others when I talk to them. People will call me now when they're diagnosed with cancer and they're like, Joanne,
Right.
what should I do? And
Mm-hmm.
first thing is appreciate that you are now talking about it. You know how many people are sick alone and they hold that in and they
Yes.
end up dying because they
Yes.
have not told anybody. They don't want to talk to the doctor. They don't want to talk to their family. They don't want their family to know. They don't want their family. No, I didn't. I wanted my family to know, but I wanted to get support from others so the stress wasn't on my family. And if I'm talking too much, please just give me the sign.
Very funny what you say. That's a
give,
very good
Well,
point.
give
about
me the sign.
oh, okay, yeah.
But in a
Okay.
nutshell, with the second cancer, it was just another lesson and it was another blessing. And that made me now become an advocate to speak about surviving,
Mm-hmm.
period. Whether it's cancer, whether it's diabetes, whether it's uh, high blood pressure, whatever it is. What did I do? I changed my diet. I exercise every day. And I believe that I am healed.
Amen.
Say
Fantastic.
it. Claim
Amen.
it.
Yeah.
Say it.
Well, I had maybe one more question, and then I want Lorena to jump in. Now, you kind of answered it, but I
Yeah.
want you to like to really like say how that translated in real life. We talked about how you recognized it at first, and then, but you said you were afraid, and I don't know, maybe you were afraid too, Nancy. But I mean, how does that translate in terms of, listen, I want to jump out the basement window. I I I was I was upset. I couldn't. When you say you're afraid, and the reason I asked that question is because someone may be afraid and say, you know what, I'm just not going to deal with it.
Mhm.
And others will say, you know what, I guess that's a normal part of having this happen and getting the information. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Nancy. So, were
Mm-hmm.
you afraid? And if so, explain that in terms of um, what it meant
Okay.
for you.
Well, I definitely acknowledged the fact that something was wrong. I knew something was wrong.
Mhm.
I wasn't really afraid at that time, but fear did creep up.
Mhm.
It crept up every now and then. And you know what? You ask yourself that question, why me?
Mhm.
And I would ask myself that question, why me, why me? So finally, you know what I said to myself? Why not me?
Mhm.
Why God chose me
Yeah.
in the sense of God doesn't put anything on you that you cannot bear. But I felt that not that he put the illness on me per se, but he put the knowledge so that now, like you said, I consider myself an advocate. I consider myself because I've seen so many people, like Joanne said, who suffered alone.
Yeah.
They suffer from fear and fear for not exposing what's wrong with them. They die alone. Some do survive alone. But again, I said to myself, why not me? God knows the type of person that I am. So not that he put the illness on me, again, I'm going to reiterate, but the knowledge to pass on early detection. And those are the key words, early detection. You hear it over and over, early detection save lives. I'm a walking testimony. I'm walking proof that statement, cliche if you want to call it, is definitely correct. But again, I know that because of my faith now, and my favorite 3 words that you will hear me say over and over, my favorite 3 words are faith over fear.
Fear. Mine too.
Faith over fear.
FOF.
All right,
FOF.
now. And because of those 3 words, truly my fear diminished. And I put my trust in God because I know he's a healer. And I know God got me. So if you can remember faith over fear and you repeat that over and over, those fears diminish. It may not all go away because we're humans. And fear is part of human nature, but it will definitely diminish. So that's how I dealt with my fear.
You know, ladies, I think it's something a little bit different. I never heard, I guess they have heard faith over fear. I don't remember hearing that, but I just have another little saying. I don't even know if I should say it. Should I say it? You sure?
Say it.
Okay. I say tough times are like gas. This too shall pass.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so.
Absolutely.
I have to say his jokes are so corny that
I know that.
they're so corny.
So guess what? I'm gonna keep my FOF.
Okay.
Faith over fear.
Okay. Joanne, were you afraid? You started to tell us a little bit about it, and share, what you felt. Again, this is something we want to pass on to others. So if they fear it, they don't go inside and just forget about it and just let things happen to them. So
No. So I 100% was afraid. I'm not going to deny it. It's a fact. That's the first thing, is just dealing with facts. It's just how you going to deal with the fact. All right. So because I was so afraid, because this is my second cancer, the devil is busy. He'll be in the back of your mind, saying things and making you feel certain things. But I definitely believe in God, and I definitely believe in having faith. I believe in it so much that I actually started an organization called Keep the Faith. So I definitely believe in faith. But it doesn't take away the fact that the fear is there. So because I chose to join multiple support groups to handle that fear that I had, because I was able to vent and talk about everything that I'm going through. So the venting and talking to other people about going through similar things, they tell you how they got through it. They tell you how they dealt with it. And it eased the fear. It didn't make the fear go away, but it eased the fear. And, all I know is I'm a believer, and, it's okay, that I was afraid of having cancer for the second time. I mean, I think it's a normal feeling, and I'm not going to deny it. It's just what you're going to do about it. What I'm going to do about it is I'm going to challenge that fear. And I'm going to do all things positive to make me better so I won't have that fear. So that's why I joined all the support groups and, just kept myself busy, because when you when you're sitting alone and you're stagnating and not doing anything, the fear can creep up on you. But if you stay busy and doing positive things and doing positive things for yourself to heal yourself and
Mhm.
to believe that you are healed, you can overcome the fear.
Right.
That's why you say faith over fear. I truly
Mhm.
believe that. You can
Yeah,
overcome that fear.
Wow.
that's true.
Lorena, why don't you jump in? Yeah.
Why, thank you, Dan. Ladies, it's a pleasure to meet you both. I am Lorena, or Annette. Nice to meet you both, ladies. My question is for both of you. When it comes to representation of Black women, do you feel that Black women are represented when it comes to clinical trials with breast cancer or any form of cancer?
Well, I think that you know what? Currently, now it's definitely better than it used to be.
Mhm.
You have to remember, and it's funny that you asked that question because I just was reading about Black women versus white women when it comes to breast cancer. And initially, back in 2005, when I was first diagnosed, um, Black women died. The mortality rate was greater than the white women's mortality rate,
Mhm.
and that was because they detected at a later stage because they didn't have medical coverage or whatever. They didn't go to the doctor. Um, but the white woman's rate of breast cancer was higher than the Black woman, but the mortality rate was not as as their rate. But I
Right.
just read that now the Black women, they're coming up close to the white women's rate of having cancer,
Mhm.
even though before the white woman was, pretty much higher. But
Right.
I think that now you do have companies and you do have the big pharmaceutical companies looking at that issue now.
Mhm.
Again, it's definitely much better than it used to be, and it's a much needed aspect because we
Mhm.
know how our communities are. We
Yeah.
know that we don't have the coverage anymore. We know that the Black woman is probably the last one seen. We're last on the totem pole. So I think it's important, and I think it's much better than it used to be.
Okay. Joanne, how do you feel about the situation?
Um, I pretty much agree with Nancy 100%. It is what it is. The statistics show that African American women are more likely to die of breast cancer. And I still believe that statistic is true.
Hmm.
So, yes, although there are the clinical trials out there right now, it,
Hmm.
it, it still comes down to our folks and our women having the knowledge and having the desire to investigate and ask questions and go after what we need to go after. A lot
Hmm.
of us just accept what the doctors say. They just
Right.
Yeah.
accept what's given to us. i
Mhm.
i will ask 1,000 questions, you know. Okay, and until I can get something. Well, is there anything else you could do, or is there any clinical trials, or is it this, or is that? You just got to go in.
Right.
So, but it doesn't change our statistics. I just
Right.
believe that we as Black women have to just do more and ask for more and demand more.
That part. This is
Hmm.
all for both of you. Do you think there's a lot of mistrust in the health?
You said
Uh,
Mistress.
you said what?
mistrust. Do you think there's a lot of mistrust in the Black community with the health?
Oh,
I think so. I think so. Yeah. Again,
I'm-
you you think about it. Most of the time, when you see the commercials, when
Mhm.
you see the advertisement, what color face do you see?
Exactly.
That's what you see. I think that even though there's mistrust in the community, and Joanne, you said this, it's all about the Black woman educating
Yes.
themselves even before they go to the doctor. You know your body better than the doctor. You know your body better than anybody. So if you're educated and you know what to look for and you know what you can get, and again, ignorance of the law is no excuse. So we have to be educated on the health care, the facilities, the doctors, what we are entitled to. And I think if the more educated we are, the better the outcome will be.
That's right.
Hmm.
You
Yep.
agree? You agree? Joanne, can you hear me?
Now I do. Say that again.
So do you agree, Joanne, with what Nancy said? You agree with that?
Oh, yes, 100%. Oh, definitely. We on the same page. You got to be educated. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And a lot of our African American people, Hispanics, are not educated about their own health care and what they
Mhm.
deserve and what they can get. So I
Correct.
think the key point, what we're both saying, is get the knowledge and then ask for what you need and demand what you need because they're offering it to the other people of the
Yep.
other persuasion,
Yeah.
so you got to just ask for it.
Okay. You both mentioned early detection.
Hmm.
Um, I understand. I researched and found out that the median age for a diagnosis is 58 years old
Hmm.
in the Black community.
Hmm.
Is this why early detection is so important?
Absolutely, absolutely. But oh, that's interesting though. You said the median age is 58, but
Yes.
I know a lot because they I think your first now they're saying at 40 you should be getting your first mammogram unless it runs in the family. Again, we have these stipulations of our health care where there's rules and regulation. Okay, well, you're too young to get. No, I'm not too young to get a memo, and you have to push that issue. Now, you're saying the median age, is this for Black women or is this for across the
Everybody. Is
board?
that for everybody?
Black women.
Black women 58. I For some reason I thought that's surprising to me.
Me
You know that
also.
it's 58. I thought it would even be lower than 58.
Right.
So, you know, again, we if it's detected early and you can get your mother and your sister and your aunt and your cousin to go and get that memo, you know what, that age can go up. So we, again, I'm gonna go back to the education. If we're educated and we know to go get that memo and go in that shower and feel the boobies and see how they feel, that age can go up.
That's true.
We can control that.
That's true. And also the fact that knowing your family history, a lot of
Hmm.
us don't know our family history. You have
Yep.
to investigate. You have to
Yep.
investigate your great grandmother, your mother, and your mother's sisters and brothers. Some people say, I don't know my family. I don't know any
Right.
of them. But you got
Yeah.
to know who they are. And you got to know what they died of if they died. You have to know that. That's again, knowledge is power. That'll help you decide on whether or not you're going to get your mammogram at 35 or 40 versus 50 or 45.
And I wonder, do our community know that there's a genetic test that you can take to see if you have the BRC, the BRCA1 or the BRCA2
That's another
gene,
issue.
that mutation in your
That's
body. So there's definitely a genetic testing that we all can do. A lot of times the insurance companies don't want to pay for that. Demand it. Tell them you need it because it may run in your family or your doctor. The doctors can, and again, and it's really ironic that it's all about how they code everything. If the
Mhm.
doctors code it as exploratory, then the insurance company doesn't want to pay for it. They have to say that it's a necessity. One little digit can be determined whether they're going to pay for it or not.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know. So,
I learned that at an early age that it's the words that you use
mhm.
that make an impact. It could be one word, but the way you use that one word, it
Yes,
make or break you.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Here's a question for my curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Is 3D mammography more radiation?
3D, that I'm not sure of.
I never heard that it's more radiation, but I did hear that it's much more important to have the 3D, and it's much more dependable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't know that it was more or less radiation though.
Okay.
But
Math.
it's recommended
Okay. And why is it recommended?
More
because
detailed. It's more detail. It's a more depth of what they actually see.
Okay, so if I were diagnosed with breast cancer, could I demand that they do a 3D mammography?
well, if you had a 3D mammography, the
Mhm.
likelihood of them being able to see the breast cancer is much higher. So you get the mammography first before you even diagnosed. And
Okay.
if you were diagnosed, that means you already got something that told that you had breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the fear part because I was diagnosed with a rare disease called moya moya, and I had to have brain surgery. So going back to when you ladies were discussing the fear,
Mm-hmm.
there's definitely fear there, but you have to overcome that fear because you have to believe that you're going to be okay. You have to
Mm-hmm.
believe that. But there's definitely lots of fear.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a fact. We
Yes.
can't get by that.
Yeah, there's no need in acting like, oh, I was good. No, I'm not good. I'm terrified.
Nope. Nope.
Terrified.
And that's part of it though. That's part of
Yes.
releasing the fear is
Yeah.
is saying it. That
Yeah.
to me, that right there just releases some of the fear right from you because you said it. When you
Yep.
verbalize what you're going through, you release that fear and them toxins. So
Yeah.
I definitely believe that.
I
Yeah.
do, ladies, I do too. I think I should start looking for moya moya. There's a lot of us out there, but nobody knows about moya
I never
moya.
heard of it.
Sounds like
I
some
know
type
it's a
of
weird
food.
disease. It almost sounds like a cocktail, right? I'll take a moya moya
Mm-hmm.
with
I
the
know. Wow. Mm.
Mm.
How
yeah.
many years ago was that? How many years?
I've had this diagnosis since 2019. I had two
Okay.
brain surgeries,
Mm-hmm.
March and one in December,
Okay.
because I had a couple of seizures.
Mm.
So after my first brain surgery, I had to have a second one because the seizures were coming too quickly.
Mm.
And the
Wow.
last seizure was a grand mal seizure where, you know, I was foaming at the mouth and I urinated on myself. And
Mm.
the doctor said, okay, we can't schedule this for next year. It has to be this year, December. So I had two surgeries in 2020.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And here you still stand.
Yes. To talk about it with you two ladies, we are survivors. I call myself a warrior queen. That's what
Oh
we are.
yes.
We're warrior queens, ladies.
Yes. Yes.
Nail clap for that. Yes.
Can,
Man, where you at? Nail clap for that.
can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a question I'd like to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, can you talk about the testing, the process,
Mm-hmm.
and also the treatment? There seems to be multiple options. So, could you speak to about the testing process and multiple? Um, yeah.
Sure. Well, the process begins. The first process is going to the doctor. That's number one. And I would say after you go to the doctor, then he writes a script for you to have your screening, your mammo. And sometimes because the breast can be dense, the doctors may order a sonogram. And depending on the results of your sonogram, the doctor may do a biopsy. And then the biopsy will determine whether it's benign, which is non-cancerous, or whether it's malignant, and that's cancerous. And you have to remember, even all breast lumps aren't breast cancer. I mean, you could have a lump, you can have a tumor, and it can be benign. It can be a non-cancerous tumor. And a lot of women, and again, Black women are known to have dense breasts. So that's
Mm-hmm.
very important. Even with Joanne saying that she couldn't feel hers, and because it was, behind, near her chest cavity. Again, um, our women, they know, they know if you have dense breasts, you definitely have to be careful because you can't feel it. So again, the procedure is the first procedure is go to the doctor. That's definitely the first step to the first step that everybody should do.
Mm-hmm. And those tumors can also, that you're talking about, that's not necessarily cancer. Some women and a lot of Black women have what you call cystic breasts.
Hmm.
So they have these little cysts all through their breasts, and sometimes they clump together, and it might look like a tumor, but it really isn't. So
Right.
all lumps are a good, very good point. All lumps are not necessarily cancerous. They could be benign cysts. Some people are just cystic, that could be genetic also, just having cystic breasts.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to ask one other question. Then, Lorena, I want you to jump in again. Um, yeah, as far as treatment options, what are some of the treatment options? And like, if I get this, expect this. If you get, it's like they have those ads for, you take this medication, it'll stop the headaches, but you might have thoughts of suicide. You might have thoughts of beating up somebody that you've been meaning to get for a while. You might, I mean, so.
So you don't need the doctor to tell you that. You don't need the doctor.
Yeah, so like so if you get different types of treatments, what are they? When are they for? What kind of side effects? And then after that, I'm gonna turn it back over to Lorena. Uh huh.
Okay.
Mhm.
So again, you just mentioned there's many options, and like I mentioned, I had surgery. So the number one option, and most people opt to do, is surgery. And it could either be a mastectomy or it can be a lumpectomy. And the difference is mastectomy removes the entire breast, whereas the lumpectomy removes the tumor and some of the surrounding tissue. So it's more like a partial. You have your other option is radiation.
Mhm.
And the radiation is used to destroy any remaining cancer cells after surgery, or to treat the early stage of breast cancer. My second bout, like I mentioned previously, I had radiation. I did 35 rounds of radiation. I never had chemo, so chemotherapy is another option that that they have for you. And this is when a drug is used to kill the cancer cells throughout the body. And like what Joanne mentioned in her earlier years, chemotherapy was a dreaded treatment. Now there's a medication that people take prior to treatment, and it relieves that. My mom went through chemotherapy and never was sick because of the drug she took prior to getting her treatment. There's also hormone therapy, which is the two drugs that I take. I took, and I didn't mention this before. On my second bout, I took a Ramadex,
Tamoxifen.
which is,
Oh,
well, no, tamoxifen was
it
my
was the first. Okay.
first bout. The second was the Ramadex, the anastrozole is the generic name, and I took that 3 months before surgery. And I'm not sure the actual centimeters, but when she first saw the lump, it was, say, maybe a size of a little bigger than a lima bean or something, right? After taking the pill for 3 months, she couldn't even feel it anymore. She didn't even feel it, but she did the surgery anyway just to make sure. So hormone therapy is a drug used to block the effect of hormone that stimulates the tumor growth. And this is used for hormone receptor positive breast cancer. And I believe there's so many other treatments, but the ones that I mentioned are the four most common ones. There's, I think they call it target therapy and the immunotherapy. Those are where the treatments depends on the different factors and the different stages and the ages of the person. So yeah, there's definitely different treatments. And again, you got to remember the treatments coincide with the person's age and the stage and how aggressive the growth is.
Yeah, that
And
was
those are,
very, very well put. You pretty much explained all of the treatment processes that
mhm.
I'm aware of, and I'm the one that had all of them. Okay,
Okay.
so I mean, I literally, from the chemo 2 times because I had it the first time. I didn't
Hmm.
get that. I didn't get that sick the second time, but the effects of the chemo are still very devastating. Very
Hmm.
devastating. When I got chemo the second time, no, I didn't get nauseous and everything, but you could really feel that poison going in your body trying to kill cells. You could feel it. It felt like poison. Although I wasn't sick, but it just felt like I was being poisoned to death. Honestly, it was very, very, very bad. However, what I did is you have to get your body and your temple in a state where you're strong enough to withstand chemo. Not everybody can withstand chemo because the drug is so powerful and it's so poisonous, it can kill you if you're
Hmm.
not strong enough, if you don't have a strong enough temple. So I went through a whole holistic process prior to me going into chemo my second
Okay.
time.
Hmm.
I went to Queen of Four in New York. I went to many, many, many health holistic people. I followed Dr. Sabies. I did all the stuff to prepare my body for that poison that was getting ready to try to kill the cell, not try to, that killed the cells in my body, the cancerous ones. But I just have to say, with regard to treatment process, you have to prepare yourself. You have to be ready for that poison. And I'm
Hmm.
just thankful that my body was strong enough to withstand it because that was probably the worst that you could ever feel in your life because something is trying to kill the bad cells, but you got to make sure your good cells are strong so they don't
Right.
kill that too.
Right.
And then that's with regard to chemo because I had chemo twice, so I know about chemo. And then um, the radiation was interesting because that's why today I don't use a microwave, and nobody should. I'm just sharing this with you. Nobody should use a microwave. The microwave kills the cells also, just like when we went for chemo, I went for 36 rounds of chemo. The chemotherapy, I'm sorry, 36 rounds of radiation. That's what I went to.
Hmm.
And the radiation is just like a microwave, okay? It's killing the cells in your body and it burns them, okay? So that's why today, after surviving cancer 20 years for breast cancer and then 40 for Hodgkin's lymphoma, I don't use a microwave because I had enough microwaves in my system for 40 years.
Hmm.
And and just for knowledge, people think that it's a quick fix. You can heat your food up real quick and you're good. What you're doing is the microwave is killing all the nutrients in that piece of food. So if you nuke a piece of chicken that you've already cooked yourself and you just want to heat it up, all the nutrients that that piece of chicken had, the protein, the anything good, the microwave nukes it and kills it. It kills cells. That's why we get chemotherapy when we have cancer. So I just share that with people. People can choose to do what they want, but I do not recommend that you use a microwave on a daily basis. What it does is now you have to go out and get nutrients another way. You got to put more nutrients in your body because anything that you just nuked, you killed the positive effects for that piece of food that will nurture your body. You done killed it by nuking it. So
Hmm.
so that's what I have to say about radiation.
Lorena, I know in our last show, um, Lorena talked about um, people becoming worse after the after getting the treatment, and I think you kind of put some light on it. Lorena, anything you want to go, and then you ask some more questions on
I
that?
do. We talked about the side effects, but I have a question for you both. Do
Hmm.
you feel that there are any natural remedies that could cure cancer or help the patient along?
You said any natural?
Yes. Do you believe there are any natural remedies that can cure cancer?
You know what? I don't know about curing. I think, and it's really ironic that you say that because I was talking to my cousin last week, and he's in South Carolina, and he
Mm-hmm.
had prostate cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and he goes in his backyard and get dandelion.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
He uses dandelion. He puts it in his tea. He says, "I get it. I wash it off." And he says, "Nancy, you got to really read up on dandelion."
Yes.
His doctors, I'm 71, he's 72, he's going to be 73 soon. And his doctors is amazed at what dandelion has done for him. Now, whether it can cure cancer, that's a whole different story, but his doctors say that it definitely did something to his body. So whether
Mhm.
it can be cured, again, I'm not sure. I definitely can't speak to whether a natural heal. But if you take care of your body, which is
Mm-hmm.
your temple, I think that taking care of your body first can definitely alleviate some of the cancers that we do get. And again, if it's and it's certain cancers,
Right.
the foods that we eat, with Joanne just saying with the way we use the microwave,
Yes.
our everyday life and what we do can create or not create what's in our bodies. So that's how I feel about that.
Mhm. And I believe in both, meaning I believe in the doctors, I believe in chemo, I believe in radiation, and I do because I'm still standing, and I don't attribute it because in addition to all those things, I did go the natural route. So I think it's a combination of changing your diet, putting all healthy things in because you even hear about soursop tea and um, black seed oil, and I believe in all that. Okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
all that.
Yes.
All right, and
Yeah.
I have it all in my house. Okay, I got bags of soursop leaf. I have my tea every morning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I want to stay here. I went through all my treatment, but I want to keep my temple good.
Right.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Got to keep the number good. So, ladies, here's my question to you both. Can men get breast cancer? And if they get
Absolutely.
breast cancer, what are their treatments? Are they the same as for women or are they different?
Same. That's
The
what
same.
I know. I know them to be the same.
It's the same. But usually you got to remember, well, they have the same tissue. They do have breasts. So they
Yeah.
have the same tissue. It can affect men just as well. The only difference is, and we know, and we hear it all the time, our black men don't like going to the doctor. So usually when a black man is diagnosed, he's already in late stages. And that's again, that's the early detection part that comes in. Usually the men are not detected as early as women. So the treatments are the same. They can go through radiation and chemotherapy, but again, they're usually diagnosed in latter stages.
That's so sad. Um, Lenny Cathcart had a house music event and it was for prostate cancer.
Hmm.
Outside in the tents, he had um, prostate cancer examinations going on for any of the men that wanted it done on that day.
Oh wow, right,
Yeah. To bring awareness to prostate cancer.
right.
Cancer really truly does suck.
Yes. Say it again. SUCK. My banner says that. I have the banner that says Cancer Suck.
Right.
Yep.
Now, which one of you has an advocate group?
I do.
That's you, Joanne.
Uh-huh.
Tell us about your group, please.
Well, I'm not going to call it a group. What I've done is over the years, the 20 years that I've been since I've, survived cancer, I started a celebration of life event. That's how it started. So I do 2 events a year. One called Spring Bling Think Pink, and it's a big pink party with a purpose. And you pay to get in, and you eat, you drink, you share your story of survival, you dance, you just celebrate life. And the proceeds go to Inglewood Hospital because that's where I was treated for both of my cancers. And in addition to going to Inglewood Hospital, it goes to people that can't afford to get mammograms, people that need resources as to different support groups that they can join. Like I told you about Gildas and Tennis for Life. So I direct people to support groups so that they can survive. So that's Spring Bling Think Pink. That's one party. This other party is Winter Bling, which is coming up December 7th.
Okay.
Everybody's invited.
Okay.
Winter Bling is an afternoon, evening of jazz and gospel and inspiration. So I always have local artists come and sing gospel inspiring songs. I have
Nice.
survivors talk about their illness. We eat, drink, and have a good time and celebrate life. So that's 2 events. Once I
Joanne, that's ironic. December 7th was my second surgery date.
Oh, so you will be at my Winter
That's
Bling.
crazy.
But after doing those parties over the years, someone said to me, Joanne, what you're doing is amazing. You need to go make this a business. So a year ago, I'm proud to say that I finally got my 501c3, and the name of it is Legacy Lives Wellness Foundation, Inc. That is my 501c3 that now I am official. I don't have to give all the money to Inglewood Hospital. I can create my own account to be able to help those that need to be helped, as far as mammograms, as far as resources, as far as coming and sitting in the hospital with them and praying with them. All the things that I do that kept me alive and kept me well, now I do it officially, where I can ask for donations so that I can do all these things to help people. So that's called Legacy Lives Wellness Foundation. So now my 2 events fall under my nonprofit. I'm still doing my 2 events. It's just the only difference is those 2 events I was doing it out of my pocket, and then, just hope to get my money back. And then I would donate whatever I could. This way, I'm going for donations so that I can do the entire events through my nonprofit.
That's a beautiful thing. Beautiful.
Wow.
And I'm in the baby steps. I've been thinking about this for years. My pastor is always encouraging me to go forth with it. And it started out as being Wings, Women in Need of Godly Services. And then I saw that some other group had kind of wings in their name. So I saw another one that I can call it Sings. And it's really, again, it's a nonprofit that would just be for a support group, mainly support. Just let's talk about it. Let's just get together and talk. And again, Joanne, you mentioned just sharing with each other. It gives you more knowledge and it takes that fear out. Each step that you do, it just releases something else. So from all the talks that I've done, all the presentations that I've done, I did a presentation 2 Sundays ago at church, not about cancer, about the people that care for you. So it was all about the caregivers and the care receivers. And that's another important aspect of your whole reasonings for surviving, is because you had somebody on your side.
That's
So
right.
I used to be a part of Sisters Network of
I'm familiar with that.
Bergen and Passaic County. thinking about rejoining them. And it's just amazing, just to be around people
Mhm.
like yourself.
Now, there's one thing I just have to say because, I'm still working and I'm in real estate and I have a 2:30 appointment
Okay.
and it'll take me about 10 minutes to get there. But I do want to say something that is very important in ending of my portion of speaking
Hmm.
is, you know, people will say, why me? And the only thing we can say, Nancy, is why not me? And the
Hmm.
reason why I say that is because we were chosen, Nancy.
Hmm.
We were
Hmm.
chosen.
Yep.
And the question is because we were chosen, now what are we going to do about it?
With it.
And that's why I
Absolutely.
chose to have the events and keep on celebrating. I will never stop. God chose me, so I have to help somebody else.
Yep.
God kept me, so I have to help somebody else.
Yep.
So that I just want to end with that. That's why it's us because we were chosen.
Hmm.
And now I know you, Nancy, and we know each other. We're going to continue to support each other. And
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that I don't have the invites ready yet, but within the next week, I want Dan to share this event that's coming up in December. It's just my inspirational evening of jazz and gospel, but I
Okay.
keep doing things. I keep doing things, and I will never stop for as long as I live. So I'm hoping that everyone can join me in it. And it's always a pleasure, Dan. You always think about me. It's always a pleasure coming out and speaking about it. I may not talk to Dan for 5 years, and he'll pick up the phone and say, Joanne, can you do this? And I'm always right there, right, Dan?
That's right. Well, we don't take that long, but I get the point.
No, 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 no.
But now, let me ask a quick question before you go.
Okay.
Would you mind if both you ladies, would you mind if I share each other's information?
Oh, you can
Absolutely.
share my information.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you can share my information, my phone number, everything.
Okay.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
201 270 8965. Call me anytime.
Okay. Well.
And my new website is called legacyliveswellness.org.
Okay.
That's the new website. I just started because I just became a 501c3.
Got you. Got you.
Legacyliveswellness.org. And
Legacy.
my email is Joanne, Joanne, at Legacy Lives, Lives, wellness.org. That's my email. And I'm always welcome to share and talk to anybody that's going through it. I'll be happy. I'll be by your bedside if you need. Put it like that. That's how strong I feel about what I do.
All right now.
Love it. I love it.
All right. Well, Joanne, I know you got to break. I guess we're kind of getting down to the wire anyway, so I know you have to break. Nancy, any final thoughts?
Nope, just faith over fear.
Faith
Okay.
over
Early
fear.
detection save lives.
Okay. All right.
Faith over fear.
Yep. Yep. And listen. Well, hard times are like gas, and it came to pass.
They will pass. They
Okay.
will pass. Yes.
Lord.
Okay. All right. I don't know, Lorena. You have any final?
Now,
thoughts?
I'm not sure how to leave this meeting because I have to
Disconnect.
go.
Just
Huh?
press
Just
leave.
press. Yeah, leave.
Just press leave.
But I don't see leave.
Okay.
Or I don't see it.
Okay, and you have your bottom
Red
corner.
or
Yes,
phone.
yes.
Okay. Okay. So are you on a laptop or are you on a cell phone?
I'm on my iPad.
Okay.
I
So
just
then, if you go to the bottom right-hand corner, I think it is, you'll see something that says leave.
bottom right hand
Yeah.
corner.
If it's not in the right-hand corner. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I do.
See it?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Bye,
Hey,
everybody. Love
Joanne,
you.
tag me with everything you know. All right. Take care. Nancy,
Yes.
thank you so much.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
Lorena, any final question that you have, or? Yeah.
It was a pleasure meeting you, Nancy. We are
Thank you.
your queens.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Well, folks, we're gonna again say thanks so much, Nancy. Nancy, just so you know, is a fellow churchmate,
Yes.
and she's like, well, actually, she's the one that's gonna set up the cruise for our church. And,
Oh,
yeah. No,
You got it, Dan. You
yeah,
got
she's
it.
super creative. I got to tell you, some of the things she comes up with are totally, totally amazing. It's unbelievable. But anyway, I said, well, when we're doing this, I said, listen, I wonder if she would do it. And again, I just want to say thank you so much, Nancy.
You're welcome. Anytime. You know that.
Absolutely. All right. Well, I'll see you because I'll be cruising. Anyway.
All right. All right. We will be.
All right.
Fine.
Well, this is the end of the segment here. This is I'm DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. Now, what's your name again, young lady? Lorena. All right, folks. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you so much. All right.
Have a good one. Take care. Thanks so much.
Okay, absolutely. All right. Next week, check out. We're gonna have Stacy Mitchell. Stacy Mitchell is gonna be doing.
Yes.
We're gonna talk about her Gospel House event coming up. It's be
Oh,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, folks. I guess that's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm DJ Dan, Soulful House Nation, coming to you live from the 8th floor. And what's your name, young lady?
La Reina. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
La,
Say it again.
La Reina.
La Reina. All right, folks. See you on the other side. All right, guys.
Later.
Who is he and what is he to you? When I am someone I get confused and I keep coming up with three. You're too much for one man, but not enough for two. Who is he and what is he to you? Is he to you?